I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hey everybody, welcome to April, second week of April. We've survived. We were not annihilated in a nuclear holocaust last week. So hey, 1 week at a time, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. This episode's very fun. So welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. I'm Ken Reed, as always, your TV Guidance Counselor. This is the show where each and every week we discuss classic television using a back issue of TV Guide magazine from my personal collection. And my guest this week is stand-up comedian, improver, Natasha Vaynblat. And Natasha's awesome, super funny. April 28th, she has a one-woman show about not being a parent at Joe's Pub. So if you're in New York, definitely go to that. I will not be around, sadly, but I would go. I would really like to see the show. You can go to natashavaynblat.com. It's in the show description, so if you can't figure out the spelling or you need a link, it's right there, but must see if you're in New York. And the weather is finally nicer in the Northeast, so go see her. She's one of the extra interesting people to discuss old television with to me, because she did not spend her first sort of formative years in the US. She moved here when she was 7 from Russia. So we talk about that here. Plus we're talking 92, which is one of my favorite years to talk about. All around, it's a good time. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Natasha Vaynblat.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live via satellite from New York, Natasha, how are you?
I'm excellent. Excited to dive in.
And I don't normally mention people's backgrounds because, like physical backgrounds, not your, a racial background.
You always start with racial background.
Always start with racial background. I mean, before they're even on the show, we all know my rules. You got a pegboard with wigs behind you, and it's it's very interesting. Okay, is it just for sketches?
Yeah. Well, you said you weren't going to use video, so I was like, well, I can go crazy. When I started in New York, I started doing improv and sketch comedies, and now since like 2016, I've essentially like exclusively been doing stand-up. But I have these bags of wigs in my apartment, and I was like, you know what? I need to display them in some way. And so my husband was like, you should put them on a pegboard like I do with my tools. So we have, so my pegboard is wigs.
Give me a 5/8 bob.
Exactly. And I'm like, you need a curly Marilyn Monroe? You got it.
This B-52 is metric. I was at a Savers the other day, thrift store, and I'd never seen, and I've been to a lot of thrift stores in my life. Shock.
Nice.
And I'd never seen this before. They had probably 200 wigs.
Oh.
Like where they normally sell the hats where they're like on hooks.
Uh-huh.
like the window of a Chinese butcher, but just wigs all on hooks. And it was disturbing.
See, and that's how you and I are different. You say disturbing, I say dream. For some people a nightmare is,
don't assume my dreams aren't disturbing.
Mm-hmm. True.
It might be what I strive for.
I forget it's up, and I'll have like interviews for stuff, and I'm like, oh right, this is weird.
They're like, are there heads that go with them?
Just
or
mine.
Just the wigs.
Mm-hmm.
You should be like, these are the trophies from my conquests.
Oh yeah, I'll try that next time.
Yeah. Any interview you're doing, and even if it's not a job, they'll hire you. So there was 2 issues you picked here, but we ended up going with February 15th to the 21st, 1992, with the late Regis Philbin and the current Kathie Lee Gifford on the cover here. We're just after Valentine's Day 92. What about this one appealed to you?
Well, maybe we'll get into it later, but so I moved to the U.S. in 1993, so I thought it would be fun to pick an issue right before, I was coming over, just to see what the lay of the land was like in the U.S., and this one particularly, it was talking about how, like, now that the Soviet Union is no more, they were getting a bunch of old, like, Russian television series, and that was going to be played in American television. And I was like, well, that's fascinating. We got to talk about that.
Which didn't really end up happening. Like, there's so
Yeah.
little Soviet television that I've ever able to hunt down. Did you ever see Exporting Raymond, the documentary?
Yes.
The Phil Rosenthal one? So
I
good.
love it. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good. And it's so fun also watching it as somebody who has lived in both cultures, because the whole thing is him coming to Russia and trying to adapt this very American suburban family humor show to Russia. And like, I forget what it was exactly, but it was something like they were trying to cast for Deborah, and he kept being like, yeah, she's like a housewife who isn't glamorous. You know, she's just kind of like wearing slacks around the house. And I forget, I might be butchering it now, but it was something like the Russian television executive was like, the American public will not respect her unless she wears heels.
Of course.
And like a full face of makeup. And I was like, yeah, that's my culture.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think the few like Soviet era shows that I was able to see, there's like a few variety shows, like a lot of variety shows. One of them literally had housewives having a contest to open cans.
Oh my God.
Like speed opening cans. And then a lot of animation, like most of the kids stuff seemed to be animation. I don't know if that was your experience.
Yes, there was like, but it was interesting because still a lot of this, like I remember there was a cartoon that I watched as a little kid. I think it was called Carlson, and it was a German cartoon though, but it was huge in Russia. But the whole premise was this like ginger-headed kid in overalls who had a propeller attached to his back, so he could just kind of fly around with a propeller. And there was like, I think like gummy bears apparently was like, it was just like talking gummy bears. That was the other big one for us.
Oh, so not even like Disney's gummy bears with the whole gummy berry
Just
juice.
like,
this was like
yeah.
German Haribo gummy bears that talk to each other.
Something like that. I don't remember. My dad was always like, you love the gummy bears thing. And I'm like, I guess. I don't know.
It was just your dad
it.
putting on a show with gummy bears, like a little puppet show.
Yeah, Russian television is just a dad standing in front of the TV.
The cardboard box.
Yeah.
And there is a big difference between German style gummy bears and American style gummy bears. It's
Really?
It's a texture
I'm a
thing.
big gummy candy aficionado, but I don't think I knew this. What would you say is the difference?
The German gummy bears have a density to them because I think a lot of times they use real gelatin, so they're not
believe
as
that.
like squishy. They're kind of like pull your fillings out, you know.
Yeah, which do you prefer?
Kind of depends on the mood. I like the toothsomeness of the German style, but the flavors tend to be a little more subtle. So it's kind of what you're in the mood for. If you want the flavor and the texture, which is often how people approached Regis and Kathy Lee's.
Incredible segue.
Thank you. I don't know how familiar you are with them. They've sort of became something later, but at this time, it was very interesting because Regis had a local New York daily talk show. It was a live talk show on every day at 9 a.m. And it was him by himself and a few different co-hosts. And then Kathy Lee guest hosted for like a week. And they had this chemistry that everybody loved. And then they ended up syndicating the show nationally around 89, I think. So they had been on the air for a couple years, and it's still on now, but it's with Kelly Ripa and her husband. And it's so impressive because, especially as like an improv person, they would open this show every morning with like 20 minutes of them just like chit-chatting on a national TV show that's like timed with commercials with the paper or something, like clearly no plan. And that's so hard to do.
Oh my God, yeah. Although now hearing about it, I'm like, that is essentially, they were doing like what podcasts are. Like, which is what we love ultimately, is just people casually chatting. And we're doing that for the TV audience. I got into Kathy and Regis at the end, I think, of Kathy's tenure, because I remember the hunt for a replacement. And I remember Kelly Ripa being the one that they chose. And then I watched Regis and Kelly for a little bit.
It would be weird too, because a lot of times Regis's wife Joy would fill in when Kathy Gifford wasn't there, and he didn't have as good chemistry with his wife that he would with Kathy Gifford, and it was like everybody knew it, like including them. Like it was just everybody knew. And Kelly Ripa is so weird. She, as a teenager, was on this dance party show here called Dance Party USA, and it was like the first thing she ever did. And one of the only clips I have on YouTube that's gotten like a respectable amount of views is a clip I have of her from a Dance Party USA Thanksgiving episode. And she goes, "I'm Kelly Ripa and I'm thankful for pineapples." And that's it. There's no elaboration. It's just super weird. So that's Kelly Ripa.
Wow.
But yeah, Regis Philbin was such a good broadcaster and would always be on the Letterman. He was really funny and he'd just like do whatever. Like he just seemed like he'd be up for anything, which is weird because at the end of his life, it was like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was his big thing.
Yeah. And I remember watching that too. That was like right around the time that I always feel like I was watching a lot of like game shows and, you know, like home after school, that late night television.
Did you speak English when you moved?
No, but I moved when I was 7. So like you do as a kid pick it up pretty quickly. So I also like love reading and writing. So I kind of like naturally was already like eager to learn. But I think something like in 6 months I was fluently speaking. But I think I'm not like unusual. Most kids at that age will pick it up that fast.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. Like we had a lot of Russian kids here in the Northeast and Boston area as well. And a lot of them were like, "Oh, I just watched TV for 2 weeks basically." And then I tried to speak English. I was like, okay, I couldn't do that in another country, but excellent work. Nice job.
I mean, you got to survive. So you're like, okay, what is everyone saying?
There's also a full page ad for the movie. It's rare in TV Guide that you get movie ads because, you know, they're competitors.
Right.
And there's a full page ad in here for Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. One of the worst comedies ever. Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty, coming soon to a theater near you. I don't know if you've seen this film.
I'm like, I don't know if I've seen it or if it's just like in my nightmares exists, you know?
It's bad.
Or I can't remember, but I also like looking at the poster, I think I know it exactly.
To me, it looks like what I imagine Russian propaganda against America looks like. Like they'd be like, they have movies like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot with an old lady with a gun. And it's like, that seems like a parody of how you would make us look bad. But it's real.
It's like the fact that she's holding the gun and it's like straight to camera. I mean, yeah, I could see how if it was done sarcastically or, you know, like if there was a little more absurdity to it, I think it could work.
Stallone's not funny either.
That too.
He's got terrible timing. Like
Terrible
Schwarzenegger
timing.
has great comedic timing.
Absolutely.
But like Stallone, none at all.
He just takes himself so seriously in a way that's like, buddy, don't do that.
He'll be like, everyone do comedy around me. That'll work, right? And it's terrible.
Yeah.
And nothing is worse than a bad comedy. Because I always say, like, a bad horror movie, bad drama, if they fail, they're funny. A bad comedy, if it's bad, it's just bad. It doesn't turn into another genre. It's not a horror movie or a drama all of a sudden. It's just bad. This is bad.
So true.
A bad movie. What was the first thing you remember watching when you moved over here?
I'm going to say this and part of it, I'm like, I think this is true, but it also feels a little too like perfect, but this is what I remember. The first movie I remember seeing is Eddie Murphy's Coming to America.
That would have made sense. That was about the right time.
Right? And it was so funny. And I remember seeing it and being like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And it still holds up. I like to watch it like around the holidays. It's great. And it felt like it was written for me.
There's a YouTube channel I watch with this woman in Siberia. And it's like, here's like everyday Siberians. Here's how we live. Like it's her and her friends. And like, it'll be like, this is where we eat lunch. And like, just like, here's how we do New Year's Eve. And it's way more entertaining than I'm giving it credit for. But they always love watching Home Alone. They're like always watching Home Alone at holidays. They're like, you got to watch Home Alone.
We loved Home Alone in my family.
Okay. So maybe it's a thing.
I wonder what it is, but yeah, it's like Home Alone was huge, Coming to America, specifically those two franchises.
All right. Did you see the sequel to Coming to America? The recent sequel?
I said franchise, but no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I heard it wasn't good.
I heard it wasn't good too, and I was like, I'm going to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm like, if the classic is so good, yeah, I usually don't watch the remake because I'm like, it's just not gonna hit in the same way, and unless they've done something totally different, which I feel like they rarely do because the only reason they're doing it is because they want to recreate, the box office success. So
And it ends up being like,
I usually pass.
just references to remember when we made this funny joke 30 years ago? Remember it? We're not even going to try to do it again. It's just we want you to remember that one, and it was funny. It's pretty much
Like I could just see the original.
Yeah. It's like if your friend is on a second marriage and you really hate their new partner, so you're not friends with them anymore. You just pretend they don't exist anymore. That's how I kind of approach them.
And you watch home movies of their old partner.
Watch their old partner, yeah, who's very funny, and from 30 years ago. So this whole thing is about, they call it chemical attractions, but it's about like people on television who have good chemistry. Calling it chemical attractions is like a little bit creepy, because it's just like actors and stuff. Tim Allen has no chemistry with anyone, but they claim that he does. And then have Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, and Baby Newirth. I'll give him that one. There's some soaps here that I don't really understand, so I'll go for it. And then there's a thing about here that this article is fascinating about stand-up on TV. And I don't know if you read this article, but this gives you a great view into what stand-up was like in 1992 here in America. And it was a wasteland of too much awful stand-up.
What was it? Yeah, tell me.
So this was during the stand-up boom, where all of a sudden every small town had a stand-up club, and there was like 200 different stand-up shows on TV. It was very easy to get a TV credit. Like you had to like actively avoid one if you did stand-up. And it was just like all the cliche garbage stand-up in that like post-Seinfeld, like what's the deal with stuff was just on TV non-stop. And this is terrible. The opening joke is TV newcomer Donald McIerney, and it literally says, with a so-so joke, is part of what he's presenting on A&E's Evening at the Improv. So he comes out and he goes, "You're a good group tonight." The man flatters the audience, a crowd resembling a frat party before the second keg is open. "You drinking, partying, you're all horny. It's like hanging out with the Kennedys." Awful, right? And even TV Guide's like, that's not great. And then they just basically talk about all these stand-up shows on TV and how they're like all pretty mediocre, which they're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want a true picture of what it feels like to go to a stand-up show, not everyone's a star. I'll tell you that.
Sadly, not a lot has changed. But the conceit here too is like one of the reasons stand-up was on TV all the time was it was one of the cheapest television programs to produce, because you already get the clubs, you get one camera. We both know stand-ups will do anything for pretty much free, and it says that
myself included.
The average program costs roughly $50,000, a steal for a national show during lean time. So in 1992, a national primetime television show for $50,000 is bonkers.
I mean, that makes sense. This was later, but do you remember watching Premium Blend?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that was the way I was introduced to stand-up. That must have been like early aughts, right?
It was 95 it started. So a band that I used to play with was the house band for a couple years on it, the US Bombs.
Whoa.
They were like this West Coast skate punk band. And actually,
that's amazing.
They were the house band. If you remember, they had like a punk rock band that would like play the people out. So I know it was at least 95, 96 because that's when we were playing with those guys and they had just got that.
Wow.
Dwayne, what was Dwayne's first name? The singer was an older guy. I was like 15 and this was an old guy band. So some of these guys were like 30, but Dwayne was probably in his 40s because he was one of the original like 70s skateboard dudes. Like he like invented skateboarding in the 70s and did a lot of drugs and it was evident.
Well, as you do.
But then there's a cool thing in here that Richard Lewis says something that is very insightful, but also made me sad because it's applicable today. And he says, I find it inflammatory to have women or gay bashing jokes or jokes about diseases. There's enough heat in the streets. And then Paula Poundstone blames the viewers for supporting offensive material. If people don't look for better things, they won't get shown. People keep applauding things that are wretched.
Wow. Yeah.
Still. And Paula's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get enough credit for being kind of like an old comic. She's always had a really weird thing, and it's like she's very funny.
Very funny.
And then on the same page, it's direct from Russia, official Russian commemoratives marking the end of the Soviet Union. This is weird. It's a weird thing to sell.
Very. Yeah, it's like, hey, this like... I mean, I guess it's the same thing as like, you know, like a we're closing for business sale. Everything must go.
Liquidation. Buy our stamps. They're no longer worth anything. Yeah. I don't know who would want this. Like, so it's America. So I have to imagine it would be like Americans who are like, fuck yeah, fuck you. You're gone. Check it out. I bought a stamp. Like, I don't think that existed much. And I can't imagine there were people who were like, I fled Russia. I live here now. I want commemorative stamps of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Who is it for?
It is so strange. I mean, I guess it's like for collectors who are like, and now I will have this stamp. That would be my only guess.
But would they be like, I'm trying to collect stamps from every failed nation? Like, what were they trying to collect? Like...
That's honestly, I'm like, that is kind of interesting. Stamps from every failed nation.
That would be kind of difficult to pull together. I guess I would just have to make the list first.
Yeah. Well, then you have to make sure the nation fails. That's part 2, is you have to be the one who's like, and I'm going to make sure this nation fails so then I can get the stamp. Time consuming.
What's that weird thing? It's like a betting thing, but it's for like anything. I forget what it's called.
Poly market.
Yes. I was like...
Or that's one of them. There's several, but yeah.
That's the one I hear about all the time. But I was like, how many people you think have pitched shows in the last 6 months about a guy like committing crimes that he then bets on Polymarket?
If they haven't, I'm like, Ken, you need to pitch this idea immediately. Yeah. Because, if they haven't, like, an executive would eat that up. And also, like, hey... It could be the new Breaking Bad. You never know.
Maybe, because for people that don't know, we
like a naughty guy.
They really do, like an anti-hero. People bet on stuff like if like a plane crash will happen, or like, you know, people use nukes. So like you literally could be like, I bet there'll be a plane crash next Tuesday at 2. Something like just calling your shot.
People were betting on, right, like when we would go to war with Iran, like that sort of, like, and what even would be bombed. Yeah, it's... nasty.
Yeah, and they were betting on like death numbers, and I'm like, this is what a fucking
it's so gross
piece of shit world we live in. But anyway,
but TV.
So was there anything in here when you first cracked it open that you were like either very excited by or seemed completely bizarre? Like I did not imagine this was happening there.
Well, I would say both. Okay. So I would say I was so excited by, just like for the nostalgia, America's Funniest Home Videos. Where I was like, oh my God, I loved that show as a kid so much. And I remember like not fully understanding the concept and being like, which maybe it wasn't just me, but maybe a bunch of kids. But I was like, I'm going to find a way to stage something so that I can get on America's Funniest Home Videos. So there was like months in my parents' lives where they were like, stop, whatever you've tried to like do this dumb prank, like isn't going to work. But I had a camcorder and I would try, essentially, I guess I'm like what people on the internet do now when they like stage viral moments, but I was doing it in like 1995.
Your dad can't take any more groin shots. Please leave the man alone. He gets home from work. It's the last thing he needs.
And my like pranks were just so not pranks. Like it was just a brain that wasn't getting it. Like I thought it was funny to just like, if I had some sort of science fair project, like a big poster, I would come out and I would put it and I would tape it over the TV and I would like start lecturing my parents on the project while my friend was filming. And they were like, this doesn't make any sense. Like this isn't a viral moment. This is just you being mean to us.
But not even mean like you're still trying to be educational and being like, see, I'm doing schoolwork though. Right? It's like,
Yeah.
I remember there was a kid, I probably shouldn't say his name, but when I was growing up, he always, when you'd go over, he was the biggest liar. Like, we always had at least like 2 or 3 massive liars in school. And this kid was like, claimed he had a gremlin, like that kind of liar. I painted, I went to the town next store and I painted the fire hydrants yellow, like that kind of liar. So you'd go over his house.
Okay, big lies.
Yeah, big lies. He'd make you watch Mr. Boogedy, and then he'd want you to make a haunted house in the basement to scare his sister, right? And it was so not fun. And also, side note, you'd go up to the refrigerator and you'd be like, what do you want to drink? And there'd be like 30 different things in there, and he'd only give you like 2 options and like wouldn't allow you to even ask for the other things.
Rude.
It was also Always Sunny Delight. But so it was never scary. We'd spend
That sounds right.
hours building a stupid thing, and his sister would be like, Elena! She'd be like, oh, you're doing stupid on it. And then it would be like, so it was awful. So one time, probably, I don't know, 8 or 9, me and 2 other kids were over there, and he made us do a haunted house, and we're like, this is so stupid, it never scares your sister, it's such a waste of time. And he got like so offended, he's like, this'll get her. So she comes downstairs, and he comes up with a hockey mask and a hockey stick, and just whacks her in the face with it.
Oh my
Broke
God.
her nose. And we were like, what the hell? And then he told his parents it was our idea.
I mean, yeah, he's gotta. I mean, he's a liar.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna lie about it.
Yeah, he's like, they told me.
That's insane. Where it's like, yeah, that's not a prank. That's full assault.
Like,
You just assaulted somebody.
Haunted house scared and scared for your physical life are different things.
Very.
Technicality. So let's dive in here. Saturday night. What are you watching?
Saturday, well, I had a few options. I was thinking Beverly Hills Cop. Again, love me my Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy
So
fan.
you gotta continue. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like his golden time for me. I just loved every single movie he made. And the Rugrats. I freaking, as a kid, loved the Rugrats. God, there's so many good things. I feel like, what else do I have for Saturday? Well, I don't know if this was a Saturday, but Baywatch.
Oh, yeah.
And Roseanne.
Yep.
Those were the other like shows I remember obsessively watching as a kid. And Golden Girls, of course.
Golden Girls had just ended in 92, so they had switched over to Golden Palace on Saturday nights. They had moved Who's the Boss from Wednesdays to Saturdays, where it failed and died eventually. Same with Growing Pains. This was also like a year or 2 after The Simpsons had really hit big. So they were trying to do like primetime cartoons. And there's a terrible one on that night called Capital Critters. That's like a political satire about these mice that live in the White House. It's really bad. It's really awful. So there's some weird stuff that's just not good on.
Are the mice supposed to, is it like Animal Farm? Like the mice are real politicians, or no? It's just they're in the background. They're just, it's not even a political show.
Yeah, well, imagine an episode of Veep going on, right? But you're focused on mice in the building. So that's like going on around them, but these mice have a thing going on.
Every episode, it's like, where's the cheese?
Yeah.
And it ends when one of them finds the cheese. Yeah. Okay.
And it doesn't work. Baywatch by 92, huge. Baywatch had one of the most, the greatest business decisions of all time. It was on NBC, got canceled. And so the producers and Hasselhoff asked if they could buy the show back, which the network was like, yeah, take it. They bought it for $5,000 and then put it in syndication and made like $25 billion. Because for a network at that time, they were like, wow, what are you going to do with it? Like, yeah, we should take it. We don't want it. It's canceled a year ago.
Insane. That's genius.
Totally
Wow.
genius.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember as a kid it being on just 24/7. Like wherever, like there was Baywatch always playing.
Yeah. And if you watched it as an adult...
No, I have not.
Wow, it is weird. Like, it is...
Yeah?
It's weirder than you remember it. Because they'll just, like, music videos will break out in the middle of it for no reason. The plots are bizarre. There's a 2-part Christmas episode where there's actual Santa and actual elves.
What?
And then the next episode will be about like rapists and like drug gangs killing people. And then it'll be an episode about like a magical dragon on an island. Like, it's just bizarre.
Wow. Get me in that writer's room. Honestly, that sounds
Oh,
great.
you could have pitched anything for Baywatch. And then Baywatch Nights. I don't know if you ever saw Baywatch Nights.
I remember Baywatch Nights, but I have no memory of watching Baywatch Nights.
So season 1 of Baywatch Nights is Mitch is going to be a private eye at night. And his private eye office is in a nightclub called Baywatch Nights, right?
Of course.
Doesn't do very well. But because Baywatch was so popular, they had already greenlit 2 seasons. So they're like, let's rework it for season 2. So season 2, he's still a private investigator, but now he investigates monsters.
It was like sci-fi?
It was X-Files with Mitch from Baywatch. So like literally like vampires, unfrozen caveman who goes on a rampage. And it's not tongue-in-cheek. It's like totally serious.
That's insane. And there's no swimming.
No.
Are they lifeguards or that's
they
done?
will mention that he's a lifeguard by day. I guess he doesn't sleep because he's like got 2 jobs. And yeah, so he's still the same character who also in the daytime is a lifeguard. And his lifeguard world never mentions like, you guys aren't going to believe this shit. Last night I killed a vampire or something. And then at night he's hunting werewolves and stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You do a little bit of that during the day. We got Santa, we got elves, naturally.
Yeah.
Nighttime, you feed the gremlins and it all goes crazy. So I get
My
it.
theory was like after dark stuff was all like gets a little sexy, but it's Baywatch. So like, where are you going to go? So they're like, I don't know, monsters. Like, we got to have more cleavage. Like you can't.
Yeah. Bathing suits during the day. So yeah, talons. And weird SFX at night, VFX.
Full on a virus that made people serial killers. That was an episode.
Maybe an alien with like a bunch of double Ds everywhere.
Yeah.
So that could be a way to do more sex.
Everywhere except on their chest. That's where their the 2 faces.
Well, yeah. You got to surprise them.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if you're ever bored, I highly recommend checking out Baywatch again.
I just might.
Loving Eddie Murphy movies. When did you go back and watch his stand-up? Because it sounds like you came to stand-up like a little bit later.
I've like, I think I've seen just a little bit of Raw.
Wow.
So that's, yeah. I loved, like as a kid, I just watched all of his movies. And so, yeah, his stand-up, I'm honestly not even that familiar with, which is crazy.
It's very homophobic. About 90%.
Yeah, so, like I know some stuff is good, but yeah, it's like wading through the whole thing. I'm like, I'll just stick to the movies.
Yeah. I would say it was appropriate at the time, but it kind of wasn't. Even then. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop is fun. Golden Girls is on that night. This is the end of the season. They must have done Golden Palace September of 92.
So Golden Palace, are they in a different location? What's the change?
So B. Arthur left, and then the remaining ones bought a Miami hotel that they run. So it's kind of like Fawlty Towers, except with the Golden Girls and Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin. So they get rid of B. Arthur, replace her with Don Cheadle and Cheech Marin.
Insane. Well, that's beautiful. You can't replace a woman with just another woman.
I like the math on that.
Double
it's
it.
like,
That's
what's
great.
a B. Arthur worth?
Yeah.
Oh, a Don Cheadle and a Cheech Marin. Conversion.
Yeah.
Where did you move to when you first moved here?
We moved to Virginia. So I grew up in Virginia. Yeah. But we were considering Queens. So there's like a separate timeline in which I could have grown up in like Kew Gardens in Queens. But my parents truly were like, well, we'll go anywhere. And we had a great uncle who lived in Virginia and the cost of living was cheaper. So they were like, okay, I guess we'll go there. But yeah, we could have landed anywhere.
Were you like DC side
Virginia,
or like Richmond?
Virginia. Yeah. So center of
right
Virginia.
in the middle. Okay.
Right in the middle. Yeah. But there was weirdly like a pocket of Russian immigrants who were in Richmond, Virginia. I mean, I feel like everywhere there were these little pockets in the 90s. So it was so nice because I moved to Virginia, but then immediately was like in this little tiny microcosm of Russian immigrant kids who were also 6 months into the U.S. or, like were going to be coming 6 months later. the first couple of years in the U.S. was weird, like weirdly easy, I should say, because I was like, oh, everyone is just a Russian immigrant. Okay, easy.
This, I hope this isn't reductive of your life experience, but the image I'm picturing when you describe this is when someone buys a new fish for a fish tank and they leave it in the bag in the tank for like 2 days. So they're like, it's technically in there, but it's still in its own water in the little thing. Yeah.
Honestly, it did feel that way because I didn't go. So then we like moved out of this, like these essentially like tenement houses, and we moved closer to the suburbs. And then I went to public school that was not with all of these kids. And that was when I experienced culture shock. So like 2 years into living in the US, I was like, oh, this is the country I live in.
And it's Virginia.
So that was fascinating. And it's Virginia. And I remember it was like there's so many like little things that I just like didn't understand. So for example, Rocky and Bullwinkle was a huge cartoon at the time, and Boris and Natasha are of course the Russian spies. So the question I would get all the time is, hey Natasha, where's Boris? And I have an uncle named Boris, and I didn't know what they were talking about. So I'd be like, oh yeah, like my uncle Boris, he's in St. Petersburg. And it would crush every time. And I was like, well, say no more. I'll just always answer that. So it just shows how little like introspection I have, where I'm like, oh, that got a laugh, done. I'll just do that exactly over and over again.
Why would you know that? Like it would make no sense for you to know that. It is always good when like shitty kid questions that they're like trying to make fun of someone with, when you really derail them by like not being offended and also not being like thrown off and just having like a confident answer. Why ask?
He's doing well.
What? But that was one of my big like when I was on Twitter before the Nazification. That was one of my ways out of an argument with people. I would just be like, how's your mother doing? Like, did your sister go back to school? Like some weird question to like a stranger. And like 9 times out of 10, they'd be like, oh, she's doing all right. Yeah, no, it's going like it'd be the weirdest thing.
The internet's crazy.
Like you freaks. I will say Above the Law is on that night, which is one of the better Steven Seagal movies. It's not as good as Out for Justice, which is the one where he's running around Brooklyn looking for a guy named Richie, and he's doing the worst Brooklyn accent ever. And it's absolutely hilarious and one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know if I've seen any Steven Seagal movie.
Oh my God.
I know him, but what would be his most famous? What would you say?
Probably Under Siege was probably I would say the biggest like mainstream hit.
Yeah,
but he's
don't know
a lunatic and now a Russian citizen. Also, claims to be Russian Mongol, even though he's from Michigan, and has no. But that movie's him going around.
I'm sure they'd love to take him though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, he's like hanging out with Putin, and there is hilarious footage of him at some Russian. Because they'll like roll him out for propaganda stuff, like this American super action hero.
Yes, of course.
And they go to some farm, and the farmer keeps handing him like vegetables from the ground, and he has no idea what to do with them. And he's also like 300 pounds now, and so the guy hands him these like cartoon looking carrots, like Bugs Bunny looking carrots, and he just starts eating them. And I don't know why it's the funniest thing. It's like, what are you doing?
It's also funny, just like giant carrots and a giant Steven Seagal. Yeah,
it's like carrots.
Isn't he? Is this true that he's supposedly like the worst SNL guest on record? He was
banned immediately. Yeah, it's one of the most humorless episodes. He wrote a sketch on it, which is hilarious, but not why he thinks it does.
Oh my God!
And he refused to be the butt of any jokes, and he insisted basically at the end of every sketch he like kicked someone's ass. Like that was like, so they're doing the Rob Schneider copier guy sketch, the like Natasha, blah, 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 blah. And he like smashes him through, him through the copy machine and then like throws him out a window. Like that's how the sketch ends. Oh my God, his joke delivery timing. There's a clip where he goes, I busted these guys for cocaine. What do you think they were using it for to make chalk for girls softball games. Like, it's like, what? It's stilted and weird. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
That I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, that actually is comedy that's intended to be good but bad, but actually is good.
Yes, you're correct.
But that's because the person is not in on, like, Steven Seagal doesn't understand why it's funny.
It's like it is. It's like a huge prank. Yeah,
Hey,
he's one of
that's America's Funniest Home
it really
Videos.
is. He's one of 4, I think, that were banned. So it's Milton Berle, him, Martin Lawrence, Andrew Dice Clay. I think were the 4.
Oh,
yeah.
He was the only one I knew of.
Yeah.
But those other ones check out to
Milton
me.
Berle's a freaking piece of shit nightmare. Oh man, okay, so the Poly Market guy, right?
Yeah.
All he's doing is betting
Yeah.
on who's going to win America's Funniest Home Videos. So it's specific.
There you go.
Dog shampoo is going to win. Whatever the thing's going to be.
That's so funny. It's also, I mean, like, it's not, the odds aren't bad,
No.
right? Because it was 5 videos or something.
Yeah, you can get a top 3.
So he could do it.
It's pretty good odds. The show's still on. The show is still on.
I know. I think I had some friends who were briefly like writing on it, and I put that in loosely in quotes, and they would not be offended by that. And I was like, I didn't know this was still a job.
They make most of their money now by licensing. So all the videos people submitted, they own. And so they have this massive database of like clips that they license.
Of course they
so
do.
people be like, you got a monkey smelling his finger and passing out? They'll be like, yes, we do. And you can rent it.
We sure do. Wow.
Which is a good long con. That's a good long game.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sunday, what are you doing? Merc's Funniest Home Videos?
I'm watching. Yeah, yeah, every day. I got a few Sundays. I'm watching PBS's Nature. I'm watching the presidential Democratic debate, and I'm watching The Godfather. Yeah.
Nature that night is a celebration of birds with Roger Tory Peterson, profiling the famous ornithologist who for more than 50 years has helped transform America, quote, from a nation of bird hunters to a nation of bird watchers. Peterson talks about his childhood and career and the connection between bird watching and environmentalism.
I love birds. I love birds. I've never had a pet bird, and I don't think I would. I don't like the idea of like a bird in a cage, but I am obsessed. I just love them. I don't know what it is, but maybe just...
Do you have a favorite?
I'm like, what is... well... what a question to ask, okay? I would say I do not have a favorite, but there's so many birds I think about on a regular basis. Crows are so smart, and you can have a pet as a crow. Like, they remember who you are, then their kids remember who you are. I'm like, that would be a dream goal in life, to have a pet crow.
Would you have
or
a
at least
kid
one who is my friend?
just to illustrate that a crow could recognize their children?
You know, and I'm not having kids, but for that question, I was like, would I consider it? No. Yeah. Or at least I got to get, some sort of child friend, at least, for that experiment to happen. And I forget which birds, but there's these birds that they like the way that they do their mating dance. Instead of just dancing, the male will fully build a little home that he shows off to the female bird. I love watching those videos as they put their little house together. That's incredible.
Yeah, we had a...
See? Yeah.
I had an African gray parrot growing up. And they're super smart and really interesting.
Yes.
But this one, he was very unpleasant. He did not like living in our house. But he was funny. He would do Three Stooges impressions and other stuff he picked up from the television. He watched TV for 2 weeks and couldn't speak English. Oh my God. He would do this all the time that he clearly picked up from my sister. And he would go, "Ma, what?" He would just do that all day, back and forth. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
My parents got divorced. My dad gave him to someone he works with, and the bird's still alive. He's 60 years old.
Yeah, they live a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I freaking love birds. I wish I was a morning person because I would go bird watching, but I can't wake up before 10 a.m. So it's just not It's not going to be part of my
The
life.
watching is weird. Like, there are people who love dog. Like, people don't go, I'm going dog watching. You'd be like, you're a creep. Like, it seems for whatever reason that one's
It's
fine.
true.
I'm going to go cat watching.
You can be a pervert for birds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bird.
We'll allow it. There was a documentary that just came out, or maybe not just came out, but someone recommended me. It's on YouTube, but it's about like bird watching and specifically how crazy people get. Yeah. And it's all about, which I didn't realize, but it's like this giant competition and people are obsessive in a way that I'm like, just don't. It's a nice, lovely activity. Yeah. Don't turn it into the psycho sport.
Well, it proves that not all autistic people go into stand-up.
That's the tagline of the movie.
Yes, bird watching. But yeah, they get like, obsessive and like, I saw this one here first and all that kind of stuff. There's Mount Auburn Cemetery in Watertown, Mass. Is this beautiful, huge cemetery. It's actually what Central Park is designed after. So They hired the guy who designed the cemetery here, and they were like, we want you to make that cemetery without the graves in that Central Park. But it's apparently like this incredible bird watching place. So you always see these people like full gear and cameras and stuff like running through the cemetery.
Wow. Just stomping on graves.
Literally over people's dead body. They're like, I'm going to get that red-breasted finch or something. It's like, okay. My wife has an app on her phone that it'll tell you what birds are from their sound. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is why it's good to know for the future.
Totally. That's amazing.
Like, what the hell is that bird?
That's what we should be using technology for. Yeah.
Shazam for birds.
Exactly.
I would do it. Presidential, this is Clinton versus, this is the Democratic debate. So no one remembers any of these people other than Clinton, obviously. Senator Tom Harkin from Iowa, Bob Kearney from Nebraska, and former Massachusetts Senator Paul Tsongas. So he was the president of BU for a while.
Wow.
Boring people. There is an SNL. Paul Tsongas, he spoke strangely, and he was like a cancer survivor, and I think it had something to do with his cancer. Like, he talked like this for some reason. Like, I think he had but Al Franken would play him on SNL, and it was brutal. Because they did a parody of this debate, and I don't know if Tsongas said something about like he's not going to be Santa Claus for people or something. So they just harped it, and he was like, I don't want to be Santa Claus, and he just kept. It was just like so mean.
This poor man just dunking on his post-cancer voice.
Like, well, whatever. And Living Colors on that night, and they have Tommy Davidson being Sammy Davis Jr., and it looks real terrible. They have it's a parody of Ghost, where they have Sammy Davis Jr. in the Patrick Swayze role for Ghost 2.
Okay. I'm assuming they're doing that scene, right, with the pottery, the pottery wheel.
Yeah. Then there's a
classic,
a made-for-TV movie on Sunday night with a pre-Sex and the City Sarah Jessica Parker. So post-Flight of the Navigator. I
saw this, yeah.
Her and Sally Struthers in a based on a true story. Two women love them. One is their real mother. One treats them as if she were. Who will be allowed to keep them in the best interest of the children? Which is such a boring title.
I have never not wanted to watch a movie less. I was scanning the TV guide and I saw this because I saw Sarah Jessica Parker and I was like, ooh, fun. Had the same thought. I was like, ooh, what's she doing before Sex and the City? And I was like, this sounds like the worst, most boring, awful movie I've ever heard of.
And like
it's just like,
but not in like a cathartic way.
So depressing. Yeah.
What a terrible title. Like, oh, you guys want to go see In the Best Interest of the Children? No. No, I don't.
It feels like a video that they would show for like prospective adoption parents who want to adopt.
Like they're scared straight / like, there's no going back. What's this for life? So
this is it. It's like an African gray parrot. They're going to be with you
probably
forever.
For up to 80 years old and will speak English at some point. So know what you're in for. Then this is weird. Sunday night, A&E Caroline's Comedy Hour is on, and 3 comics are on it. Jonathan Solomon, Judy Gold, you probably run into in the New York scene all the time.
I know Judy.
And Louis C.K.
Wow. Oh, right. Where I'm like, I guess I don't think of him until the 2000s, but yeah, he was working in the 90s.
1992. That's the lineup on that particular episode. That's the show they were shitting on in the article in the beginning, by the way, as well. Annie's the Improv. Monday, what are you doing?
Weekend at Bernie's.
It's a great movie.
I'm watching Weekend at Bernie's. You gotta. And that was a rerun even then, it seemed like, right? Like it wasn't the premiere.
I think it's from 88 or 89, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I feel like, especially in comparison to like Don't Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, I'm like, this is a zany premise that they do deliver on, and it has stood the test of time. Because they were like, we know it's stupid. We're going to play it up to the max stupid, and it delivers.
And people literally still reference it
Yes,
today. Like
yes.
there were Trump memes with it this week.
It will never not be, I think, in the cultural zeitgeist.
You will never replace Weekend at Bernie's as the go-to reference for puppeting a dead body.
Well, because
And that is a challenge.
yeah, and can I argue maybe because there's so few references, but that was smart of them to be like, no one's in this space yet. Yeah.
It's an untapped market here. And then they had a sequel, and they had the balls to make it about voodoo.
Yeah, that's you don't do Weekend at Bernie's again. That's one weekend, and that's it.
And it's not even a long weekend.
Yeah, you got to keep that weekend
You don't
short.
want to Baywatch Nights Weekend at Bernie's. I had Andrew McCarthy on the show. We talked about Weekend at Bernie's. Which was
Wow.
cool. Yeah, that was interesting. Then there's another made-for-TV movie on called Till Death Do Us Part. And I'm like, okay, it sounds a little bit interesting. But it's 2 years before he led the prosecution in the 1970 trial of Charles Manson. So I'm like, okay, this is about a DA, but it's 2 years before the interesting thing he did.
Yeah.
Vincent Bugliosi made his mark as an LA assistant DA on a less sensational but similarly trying murder case, which is dramatized in this TV movie. So they're literally like, look, it's not as exciting as the thing you know him from, but it's still a thing.
But it's like, if you're going to have the TV on, yeah, throw it on there.
Ashley Judd is in it. This is one of her first roles. Jennifer Runyon, who just died recently, is in it. But how, the Manson trial, right? Well, before that, there was other stuff that wasn't as good, but we'll do that.
Yeah, that feels like we're stretching it. Just do the stuff with the Manson trial.
Maybe they're like, guys, did you guys buy the rights to that Manson trial like I told you to? Yeah, totally. What are we going to do?
We sold it to the Baywatch guys.
Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Can we get the rights from the year before? 2 years before?
Yeah, no one wants those.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine that did very well. Tuesday, what are you doing?
Tuesday, I'm watching The Network. I love a dystopian movie about, the media industry crumbling. So I'm watching The Network for sure.
Yet another movie that holds up, but I wish it didn't.
I know.
This movie from 50 years ago, I wish was not really accurate of everything today. Yeah, we did not learn from dystopia.
No, we did not.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried to tell us.
Is there anything that you felt like you needed to specifically catch up on when you first moved here? There was I gotta just go and watch this thing or I'll be totally lost.
It's more that now I realize I'm I didn't know the holes that existed then, but now just because my parents didn't listen to the same music that everyone else's parents listened to or watch the same TV show. So I had to catch up on Seinfeld. It was not something that was played in our house. The Simpsons, I kind of know, but not that well. And then classic rock. There's so many classic rock references that I had to learn as an adult just because it's not my mom. They listen to a lot of Italian music or a lot of Italian pop stars and, some Russian music. And then my mom also loved Barry White. So
of course.
As a kid, I just I know Barry White, but I would say, yeah, most people don't have that frame of reference.
And you're like, I gotta catch up on Cheap Trick in Boston.
Yeah. Exactly.
does your husband reference stuff and you're like, I got no idea, man?
Yeah, he'll be like, you know that's a
Give me 15
saying.
minutes.
And I'm like, I actually don't know that that's a saying. And he at this point is annoyed. He's like, you've been in this country long enough. You can't be using that as an excuse. But I'm like, I don't know it.
I think I just did. I think I just did. Do you ever pull that when you do know it, but you just don't feel like acknowledging it?
Of course. Or when I'm just being stupid. It's a beautiful little excuse.
I don't know that for a reason.
Exactly. I don't know how to count. We didn't learn that in Russia.
We didn't have Arabic numbers. Law and Order still on. So Tuesday night, watching Network all night. This looks terrible. Homefront. Wednesday, what are you doing?
I wanted to watch the Oscar nominations for 1992. That'd be fun.
I was trying to remember what movies it would be, and I did not remember any correctly.
Yeah, I didn't.
like
I didn't look up what they
92.
would be, but I'm curious.
Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries was on, which I watched every week.
Did you?
And I loved because it was a mixture of complete bullshit and true crime. So, perfect example is this episode's report. In this expanded edition include a Virginia man whose investigation of a UFO threatened his credibility, a Columbus, Ohio reporter who went undercover to find a trucker responsible for murdering prostitutes, and a repeat segment dealing with the 1968 assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy.
There you go.
There's a lot going on there. I'm going to, out of curiosity, look up the 1992 Oscar nominations. I'm trying to even remember what movies came out in 1992.
Yeah.
All I can think of is Wayne's World, which I don't think was nominated.
Which I also put in my what I would watch. Wayne's World was on. I forget what day.
Oh, it was on later this week. I love that movie. Sounds of the Lambs. That won Best Picture.
Yeah, that
Best
makes
Director. Beauty and the Beast. Bugsy, JFK, and The Prince of Tides were Best Picture.
Wow. Okay, The Prince of Tides I remember, and The Winner I remember, but the other ones.
Then director was Jonathan Demme, John Singleton for Boys in the Hood, Barry Levinson, Oliver Stone, and Ridley Scott. Wow, Silence of the Lambs cleaned up. Anthony Hopkins won for Best Actor, Jodie Foster for Best Actress. They were against Warren Beatty, Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, and Robin Williams. Oh, The Fisher King.
Ooh, I just
Susan
saw that recently. I love The Fisher King. Yes.
That movie's great.
It's amazing.
That's like maybe the most underrated Robin Williams performance, I think. Like it's
I wonder, because it's so perfect for him. And it's, oh my God, I'm blanking on the lead.
Jeff
Daniels?
Not Jeff Daniels.
No,
Jeff
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, who's I love in everything, but I was just like, oh, that was like the beginning character of this, just like TV slime ball was so funny, or radio personality. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, that's a Terry Gilliam movie that like is really slept on for whatever reason. Like it just doesn't. There's these movies, Thelma and Louise. Like okay. Fried green tomatoes. All right. I'm back in 92. I'm in the mindset. So that would be interesting. You'd be passing up not only the television world premiere of Rambo 3.
Oh, no.
But the U.S. world premiere movie starring Robert Urich, Ron Perlman, and Lisa Elbar. And Thomas Booker's friends are being murdered right before his eyes in the film Blind Man's Bluff, because he's blind.
Perfect.
So bad. We'll give you a title and make a movie.
Sometimes you got to start with the movie. Sometimes the title is what you start with.
It obviously Ron Perlman plays the real killer. They only gave it 2 stars.
Wow. Well, we can only see 2 stars, but no.
That's true. There may be more outside of the vision. And then for speaking of Schwarzenegger earlier, First Person with Maria Shriver is on, where she's interviewing a star-studded episode of interviews with Nolan Ryan, Michael Douglas, and Luke Perry.
So this was a regular talk show for her?
This was like a special. She was trying to become like the new Barbara Walters. So she would do like 3 or 4 times a year, like a big 10 o'clock hour long interview special.
Because I recognize her name. Yeah, but I was
She's
like,
a Kennedy.
Yes. Wait, is she the one who married Schwarzenegger?
She
right?
is, yeah.
Okay, are they still married?
Yep. No, he
okay.
had a kid with the
Oh, of course, with the
housekeeper.
babysitter. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, which is a movie I wrote down that I also wanted to see. It was TBS's The Babysitter.
Oh, is this the what night was that on?
I think it was also Saturday. I could be wrong, but I wrote it down. I think for Saturday. But she's hell bent on destroying the family. So it's just classic kind of, which now I think would be a Lifetime movie, but was on TBS at the time. But a classic evil babysitter. Yeah.
Yeah, this was in the wake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and Fatal Attraction. There was like 700 ripoff movies of like, she's a secretary, but she's crazy. She's a babysitter. She's crazy. Like just all these like women in different jobs who are crazy.
Yes.
Was a big thing. Yeah, The Babysitter, it gives it 1 star. Poor babysitter.
Poor babysitter.
Do people still, like teenagers, babysit still? Is that like a job kids do still?
Still, yeah.
Why does that seem like it shouldn't be allowed? I don't know why.
It should be an app, right? You're like, isn't there a DoorDash who comes over and just like holds your kid while you're gone? But no.
Or like puts your kid in some kind of suspended state.
Totally. That's coming. I think like coma babysitter is coming.
Coma babysitter?
Yeah.
How about this? It's Uber, but for babysitters.
Honestly, I can see that.
We need one right now. They'll be here in 15 minutes.
You put a baby in a self-driving car, say go around the block for 3 hours, yeah.
Oh, that'd probably be cheaper than having to pay somebody.
I bet it would. Uh-oh.
When I was growing up, they'd just make you go to a bar. But putting them in a car for 3 hours, at least you know they're
and they
someone's
can't get
watching
out.
them.
Waymo's not going to open those doors, yeah.
Yeah, they self-locking. Thursday, what are you doing?
Thursday. Oh, where's my Thursday? I think I have Olympic figure skating for Thursday. If that's Thursday.
Yes, it's the 1992 Winter Olympics because we're in February. This is the 4 years before the Tonya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan Olympics. So the figure skating was like kind of popular, but not as popular as it was in the late 70s and not as popular as it was after the Nancy Kerrigan thing. So it's a little bit of a dip.
Yeah.
Was this Oksana Bayul, I think, might have been.
Who was so huge for my family. I mean, Russians love figure skating. Yeah, so this would certainly be on at the house, guaranteed. Yeah, Oksana Bayul, that was like our religion.
Were you like cheering for her? Like,
of course.
That's our
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you ever done ice skating?
No. Well, actually, yeah, because there was like a skate nation or something, some like skating rink in the suburbs that we went to. Perhaps maybe one of the reasons we left. I hate the cold. I hate ice. I hate being cold. I hate the sound a skate makes on the ice. Every part of it upsets me. So I tried it for, maybe like one hour. And then immediately was like, I never want to do this again.
It's not fun. Like
I hate it.
I like roller skating. It takes me a while to get acclimated, but I'm like, okay. But you're like, all right, but on ice with one blade. It's way more fun. I'm like, no, that's not fun.
I mean, there's some friends of mine who like were obsessed. I liked roller skating more because again, warmer.
Yeah,
I can handle that.
Were you a blader or your quads?
I was quads.
Yeah, that's the better one.
I feel like everyone at the time who was cool was doing blades, but I was just like, I gotta do quads. I was an old lady.
Who's laughing now?
That's right. I should have known.
What would you do? Like if you're just you're just walking down the street in New York and you see a guy rollerblading, everyone would laugh at them right now. It's like the cyber car of roller skates.
But back in the day, cooler than cool, and I had the knee pads, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, quads are great. So Thursday you're doing that all night?
I think so.
Raising Arizona's on.
Oh yes, yeah. I have that in my queue. I love Raising Arizona, so absolutely that's another one. And Roseanne, I'd throw Roseanne in there too.
Yeah, Roseanne's amazing. It still holds up. It's really funny. It was, and I've said this on the show a million times before, but it was like one of the last blue collar struggle
Yeah.
sitcoms where the humor came out of like, we need to laugh because everything's awful and we like bust each other's balls. Because around 94, 95, most of the sitcoms switched to completely just trying to be like attaining things that are impossible. It was all, I'm in New York, but it's tough, but I have a giant apartment and I'm a producer on a TV show. Like, it was just like stuff, all aspirational stuff, instead of like, we're going to lose the house. People just didn't want to see it.
And it was like a very sweet family story. Like, there's a lot of sweetness to it.
Yeah.
But in a way that didn't seem
like
cheesy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like when the episode that comes up often is when Jackie's boyfriend hits her.
Yeah.
And she's at the house and you just see Dan grab his coat and sneak out and he goes and beats the shit out of the guy and you're like, yeah.
And like that would be real.
It's the family.
Like, that is the story of that family for sure.
Yeah.
That's how the dad would react.
Like, they're looking out for each other. That's how it is. And I even like the Connors, although the Connors is like a little bit too dramatic.
Really?
It's much less comedy and like way more drama, which is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
But it fits with the show. Like, it feels like a natural progression of the show. But yeah, it's a weird one. Also, speaking of boring, on Thursday night at 10, there's a show on PBS, a documentary called Ethics in American Business.
So dull. I'm like, throw that in with like, what is it for the child or what's best for the child?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's best for the children.
Yeah, make it a double block. Snooze Fest TV.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like something you'd have to watch to train you at a job that you...
Yes, exactly. Office training.
Watch the ethics thing. No, thank you.
There's a channel that's just office training videos.
Here's how to file things. Here's how not to commit sexual harassment. Have you worked in an office recently?
Yes. I mean, it's like yes and no. I have worked in offices, but for like comedy companies, so I feel like it's a little different. But yes, I have worked in offices for Funny or Die and for Comedy Central.
So did you have to take the active shooter training?
We never did it. We never did it. Oh my God. Yeah.
This sounds like a joke, but the advice you get, I don't know if you've ever heard this, and they show you a video of this.
What is the advice?
Run, hide, fight.
Oh God, right. I have heard that. So
it's like step 1, run. Step 2, hide. And if you have to, like, they make you watch like a half-hour video of it, and it's all these guys in suits, and it's like, and they get like a fire extinguisher. It's ridiculous.
I had a friend who worked at Above Average, and he was saying that it was like some building where like somehow like Jerry Seinfeld was there and also had to watch the video. And he was like, it was the strangest thing. I was like, wow.
It'd be funny if Seinfeld's so weird. It'd be funny if he insisted everybody watches that video anytime he goes to an office because he feels better. He's like, I'm not going unless you guys watch the video, so I know everybody's been trained.
I believe it.
Oh, what a strange man.
Yeah.
Married a teenager.
Sure did.
People just forgive him for that. It seems weird to me.
Different time.
Oh, really? It was kind of strange at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say. But I feel like there was a magazine article even that was like celebrating it, right? It was like this power couple. Was it People or something? That was like
something like
Jerry
that.
Seinfeld
like, she's so
and
mature.
This student. Yeah, this wasn't she like an NYU student or something?
Yeah, she was 17. No, she was a high school student. He met her in Central Park.
Good
She was like a schoolgirl. It's super weird. If you go back and read any interviews with him at the time, like the quotes he says are gross and weird. Whoa. And no one questions it. And he's, it's all like, age is a number. And she's mature. And like, she's like 16. And Bobcat Goldthwait always brings it up. And Seinfeld hates Bobcat because of that. And it's so funny. It's so funny. Like, he goes into like a rage.
Wow.
When it's like, dude, you're, and my
that
favorite
is what
thing
you did.
is, Bobcat goes, well, you can see what the real talent on that show was. You have Larry David, who went on to do Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Jerry Seinfeld, who went on to do Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I'm like, yeah.
Those are facts.
Pretty much. That's a thing. Friday, final night of the week. What are you doing?
I'm watching Darkman, the network television premiere, in fact.
Have you seen Darkman?
Never even heard of it before. Never even heard of it. But I mean,
fun.
everything they say about it, I'm like, this looks insane. They destroyed everything he had, everything he was. And it's just Liam Neeson just covered in gauze.
With oozing skin. So Liam Neeson is a scientist who invents a new synthetic skin that's going to revolutionize the world. And some evil businessmen, mobsters, blow him up and they think he's dead. But he's not dead. But he no longer feels pain. So he has like superhuman strength and can take all kinds of pain.
That's a twist.
He uses his fake skin to wear disguises where he can look exactly like someone, but the fake skin's not super. It's super volatile, so it only lasts for like a half hour.
Wow. Juicy premise. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And it's Liam Neeson.
They tried to do like
doing action.
It's Liam Neeson. It was one of his first big like mainstream action roles. This was a massive bomb, by the way. This was Sam Raimi, so like way pre Spider-Man. He was really attempting to do like a mainstream kind of Batman-esque superhero movie. He wrote the movie. It was not based on a comic book or anything. This was like all from him, and people hated it.
Yeah, and that
gross.
happens.
It's like a gross kind of horror-ish movie, but they like advertised it like kids would have toys for it.
It's just like this man with pustules. Essentially a leper is what we're watching.
Yeah,
or a
it's a
leper
man
with
with no
superpowers.
skin. Yeah.
Do you think it's become a cult classic? Like, is this one that people return to or no? Wow.
No, and
Does not
it's
hold up,
good
huh?
though. It's
okay.
fun. But for whatever reason, like no one has nostalgia for Darkman. Like they've never been like, let's reboot Darkman, or like, I'd never seen like a clickbait like, why Darkman's the best superhero movie of the 90s. Like, but it's worth watching. Like it's very 1992.
I think it sounds fun. I might watch it.
It is. The tone is strange because it's like, it's too violent and too much like an R-rated action movie, like Die Hard feeling for kids, really. But it's also has like this very Batman Saturday morning kind of Dick Tracy kids vibe.
Yeah, he's kind of dressed like Dick Tracy on the cover.
Yeah, so it's kind of not one thing or another. It's weird. They made 2 direct-to-video sequels to it.
Wow, okay.
That were real terrible. And I think they had a short-lived TV series as well. Liam Neeson was not involved. Although, how would you know? He's bandaged up the whole time.
Yeah, you could keep him going.
Yeah, there's a lot of explosions and things. It's on the next page, though. I don't know, on page 104 of the PDF, they're advertising USA Network's Friday Nights, which I watched all the time. And there's a show called Beyond Reality, which if you've ever seen the meme of Jonathan Frakes from Star Trek being like, that's not real, it's made up, that's correct. Like, that was from that show. So the premise of the show was they would show 3 dramatized segments of things, and then he would tell you which ones happened and which ones were made up. I mean, they're all made up but they would claim the other ones weren't. But I don't know what this picture of this man is. Like, I see Swamp Thing. What is happening in this picture?
I'm like, it seems like he's wearing jewels, but then also there's some sort of like goo on top of him. Yeah, honestly, maybe the advertising is working well, because I'm like, well, at least I got to see the first story to see what the heck is going on with this guy.
It looks like he's covered in a pearl omelet.
Yes, which I'm into.
I mean, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing until this moment, until you said pearl omelet, and now I'm in.
I bet you there's some super fancy Michelin star restaurant that would be like, and then of course we have the pearl omelet. It's $1,500.
This guy went to Balthazar. That's what the story is.
Yeah.
Beyond reality.
Yeah. I'm going to place a bet on Polymarket about pearl omelets being on the menu somewhere.
Yes,
in the
do
next 6 months. And then, of course, there's, speaking of stand-ups, that Billy Connolly's sitcom was on this night, which was a spin-off of Head of the Class. It's Johnny Galecki's on it. And I don't know if you've ever seen Billy Connolly's stand-up, but he was one of the first like true stand-up. So he's a Scottish guy. He was doing stand-up before stand-up was a thing, really. And so he would go to like folk clubs and do stand-up. Like, and he used to play like weird pubs and bars. This is like early 70s, late 60s, you know, but after the sort of suit and tie joke stand-up, but before like, you know, the people doing more like stand-up as we know it now, like post Robert Klein stuff. And so like brilliant guy, like just really amazing stand-up, like big, incredibly charismatic. And they were like, we got to find something he could do that's not just stand-up. So they tried to shove him into this sort of family sitcom, and it does not fit, and it's weird.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a show from the 90s. It has all the elements, but it looks, but I have no memory of the show.
And he's good on it. It just doesn't work.
Just doesn't fit.
Yeah. And he's great. He's since done a bunch of, like travel shows where he's like rode a motorcycle down Route 66 and they're amazing. He's written a bunch of books, and Billy Connolly's great. I think that is the week, but let's see if we got cheers and jeers and see what TV Guide's opinions are this week, because it's always my favorite part. It's not signed, so it's super bitchy. And they never had a byline. And I think it's many people do the cheers and jeers, although I've never been able to confirm this. Let's see, where are we here?
Yeah, tell me what page.
Let me find it. My PDF is frozen. Okay. So you don't like cold, but you live in New York.
I know.
Why didn't you go to LA?
You know, you would think I would go to LA, but I really hate the heat as well.
Okay.
I gotta be right in the middle. And also, I hate car culture. For some reason, sitting in a car to me feels 10,000 times worse than any kind of torture. So I just couldn't do it. Yeah. And most people are fine with it. And I love walking. Yeah. And I tried LA, but I mean, no more than like a few weeks at a time. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, I gotta be in New York. It's not a walkable place.
Yeah. So cheers and jeers. We have 3 cheers and 1 jeer. This is unusual. This is a very positive week for TV Guide.
I love it.
Cheers to the Nashville Network for proving that there's still a place on TV for a good variety show. Since its debut last fall, the Statler Brothers show has been the most popular series in TNN's history, and it finished last year as cable's highest-rated series. Hosted by the 4 Statlers, the show juxtaposes top country guest stars with an eclectic group of comics, ventriloquists, magicians, and even on one occasion, a juggler who effortlessly tossed around several cordless electric carving knives. Yes, it definitely smacks of Ed Sullivan, but that's exactly why it works. There is one really big shoe.
Wow. I don't even know what the Nashville Network is.
Oh, it was the country music. It was like this network that was just like the South will rise again as a network. And it was like they did not acknowledge black people existed, basically. Wow. That's what this network was for. And it was like they would show Hee Haw. They had their version of like Club MTV that was called Dance Club, but it's just like middle-aged people dancing dressed as cowboys in this like nightclub in Tennessee. There's footage online. It's hilarious. And this show is so old-fashioned. I've seen clips of this show, and it's from 1992, and if you told me it was 1971, I'd be like, yeah.
Wow.
That's what people want. That old-fashioned Nashville Network. So Nashville Network became Spike TV. Oh. And then became whatever it is now. I think it got bought by someone else and became something different. But yeah, it was TNN, and then it became Spike. Yeah, which is why Spike still had like monster truck shows on for a while.
Okay, now I understand.
So that cheer seems like a weird PR thing.
Yes, it doesn't feel genuine.
I don't think a person wrote that now. Jeers to this week's episode of PBS's Nova. Can you believe TV ratings? The producers figured correctly that viewers who are baffled by the Nielsen's might be intrigued by this rare look at audience measurement. Alas, while the show sets itself up as a semi-expose about the shortcomings of the ratings collection, it fails to explain what inaccurate numbers really mean. Maybe we should have expected from PBS, which holds itself above the Nielsen's, until it comes up with a winner. How many times have we heard that the Civil War was the network's highest rated series? Jeez, way to hate on PBS there.
Yeah, I'm like, don't hate on PBS. That's
when you
wild
were
to
writing
me.
on shows, did they share like ratings with the writers?
No. Well, I would say not exactly. Like, I feel like at the Tonight Show, they would tell us, like, oh, we came in, like, number 1 in late night this week, or number 3 or something. But also, that was so vague. Like, I was never seeing actual ratings. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, it was probably the time, too. So, like, I worked at our CBS affiliate in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they would still get these Arbitron, like, giant... like the paper that has the holes in the side, and
wow.
like every day they'd print out this giant stack of ratings, and they have to go. And I'm like, this is such an outdated thing. And then my wife and I, for like a year, we were an Arbitron family, and it is not worth it. They give you, it's like a beeper, and you have to wear it all the time, and it picks up these like imperceivable signals on TV and radio, and it like basically takes note of what you're watching all the time, and it has a motion sensor on it. So like if we were having like a lazy weekend, they would literally call us and be like, how come your sensor's not working? You haven't moved.
Oh my God.
And you got paid shit. I think it was like $10 a month you'd get. And like we went on vacation once and we forgot our sensor things, and they like lost their shit. Like my wife figured out in the summer we had like an oscillating fan, and she just tied the thing to that so it would move. Leave it in the living room. They never bothered us. But I thought it'd be fun. I'm like, oh wow, we get to be in Nielsen. I'm like, this
Sure.
sucks.
Well, it was a curse.
This sucks. Cheers, or should we say what?
Na zdrowie.
What is that?
It's Russian.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
To one of the most intriguing and unexpected byproducts of the Soviet dissolution. This is what we were talking about earlier. TV movies and miniseries based on KGB files. Having clinched a deal with the infamous secret police, Davis Entertainment Company is already at work with a TV flick detailing how the Soviets obtained plans for the atom bomb. Other tantalizing projects include a KGB view of the Cuban Missile Crisis, Stalin and UFOs... Nobody's saying how many rubles the rights to this post-communist inside scoop cost, probably plenty. But if it delivers up from its own tired scandals, i.g. Elvis, JFK, and Marilyn, it's worth it at any price.
I love that the UFO thing, where I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Were the Russians really big into UFOs?
Well, there was that thing. There was like a giant explosion in like the woods somewhere in Russia that people in like the early 1900s, and it like doesn't make it like leveled like 100 square miles, and they're like, we don't know what caused this. And then it would always be on shows where they're like, we think it was a UFO, or maybe it was Nikolai Tesla.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that one comes up sometimes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Have you ever seen? There's a declassified KGB disguise manual.
No.
It's so funny. You could probably Google it and find it, but it looks like a joke, and it's 100% not. There's like 10 pages of this same agent with like different disguises on, but it's hilarious.
It's just Dana Carvey in various outfits.
Yeah. And they're so not convincing. And it'll be like American tourist look, or like it's just this dude with this weird mustache.
Oh,
it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's
that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah. We were always getting Russian UFO stuff here, actually. I wonder if that was some sort of weird propaganda. That they were like, they're totally into UFOs there.
So we can't be into UFOs.
That's right. Whose side they're on. Mm-hmm. I went down a rabbit hole of being obsessed with like people going on first class rail travel. I know you don't do cars, but like a sleeper car.
But I love a train. I love a train.
Okay.
It's just a car.
Just a car. So there's one that goes from Moscow to St. Petersburg every day and back, but it's like one of the most expensive luxury sleeper cars in the world.
Wow.
And there's like a ton of videos of people on YouTube taking it. It looks like, for some reason, it looks really fun.
Oh, I'm sure it looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, this is great.
I love a train.
And finally, cheers to the mind-blowing growth of Mind Extension University, the 4-year-old classroom service cable's fastest-growing educational channel is now available in nearly 18 million households. Designed to round out high school learning in rural areas, Me/You offers degrees from major universities and will be adding classes for daycare workers. We think Me/You's claim that 75% of all universities will be involved in the sort of, quote, distant learning by the year 2000 is more than academic. Me/You as a model cable could be the head of the class at revamping American education. Kind of right.
Yeah, it feels eerily correct.
Yeah.
And that just like they just didn't think they didn't know a pandemic would cause us, to learn on Zoom. But I'm like, distant learning is fully happening in the 2000s. Yeah.
By the year 2000, not quite, but up there.
Yeah. But in the right century.
That's true.
Damn.
Right, the right first two numbers.
Yeah.
Do you have like a comfort show? Is there like a going to bed show you watch?
It switches, it depends. For a while, I mean, it was all like, I feel like Seinfeld was always up there. And then, like the first 3 seasons of The Office, that's another kind of classic comfort one. And then my husband and I love this show that we like, it's only 2 seasons, so we rewatch it like every couple of years. And it's a wild choice for a comfort show, but it's called Getting On HBO. Have you heard of the show?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a remake of the British
love
show.
it. I don't think I even knew
Have you ever
that.
seen the British one?
No.
Yeah, so
but
it's
now I
Joe
will.
Brand, Joe Brand is an amazing UK comic. I've had her on the show. She used to be a mental health nurse. And so she wrote this show, Getting On, about her experiences. There's 2 or 3 seasons in the UK version. And she wrote some of the US one. They're based on her shows, but it's so good because it's so dark and
It's
like
phenomenal.
weirdly funny.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the original.
It's one of my favorites.
Series.
Okay,
too. Yeah.
well, I can't.
Joe Brand's great.
I can't wait to dive in. It's so cool that you had her on too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She's awesome. Like she's a classic, and that show specifically too is that classic like funny people, like the funniness comes out of like dark, horrible situations kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
But yeah, that's not a bad call because it is weirdly comforting because it's like these horrible things and they're like kind of just dealing with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just because it's done so well and like the acting is so good and it's also not high speed. So I think that all of that blends together in a way that I'm like, I do want to watch this before bed.
Yeah, it's very slow TV. Like it definitely, And the even though it's a hospital, like the stakes are relatively low.
Yes, yeah. It's just
it's not like
Laurie
ER.
Metcalf needs stool samples. That's like the high stakes drama. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like wheel this guy in, he's coding. Oh my God, the helicopter came through the roof. Like it's like
it's not like what is it? The Pit. It's like the opposite. It's
old
a
man keeps
palatial
falling.
speed. Yeah.
He's falling out of bed. It's a pain in the ass, like that kind of thing. Yeah. And speaking of Roseanne, Laurie Metcalf, I will watch her do anything.
My God, incredible.
Like, unbelievable. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It's been great having you on. I appreciate you
Thank
taking
you
the
for
time.
having me. I loved it.
There you go. That's Natasha, April 28th at Joe's Pub in New York. Go see her show. Tickets and information is on her website, so be sure to click over there or just check her out whenever you get the chance. Like I said, she's very funny and super cool and has a wall of wigs. I will be, let's see. Oh, last week it was cool to see you guys out in Amherst or Northampton rather, at the Iron Horse. I will be the 24th and 25th. I will be in Burlington, Vermont at the Vermont Comedy Club with Todd Barry, so you can see me there. Larry is yelling. I don't know if you can hear him, so I'm going to go address his needs. But if you have needs you'd like me to address, you can email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com. Become a patron as little as $5 a month. Huge help to the show. And I'll see you next week for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
Maybe an alien with like a bunch of double Ds everywhere. So that could be a way to do more sex.